Hello, I'm back, and in this set of video lectures, we're going to be discussing the finer points of health insurance. We're going to be talking about managed care organizations, PPOs, fee schedules, and other things. Here are some important terms you need to know. Things like medical care versus healthcare, preventative services, express contract versus implied contract, health insurance, premiums, schedule of benefits, carve out, fee for service, fee schedule, indemnity plan, managed healthcare, including managed care, prepaid health plan, third-party payer, payer mix, deductible, and others. If you understand these terms, you'll go a long ways towards understanding what you need to know in this course, particularly this chapter. There's some important stats to take a look at in terms of health insurance. 2/3 of the United States has private health insurance. Just under 18% have Medicaid, which is the government-sponsored plan that's paid for by the federal government, but administered through the states for people that don't have health insurance. Medicare covers 18%, and then the military has 3.7%. Some other things that we hear about group health insurance, in other words, these are employer paid premiums. So your employer pays the cost of being covered by MOTA or Kaiser, what have you. They also have individual plans, sometimes called commercial plans. The public includes all the federal and state programs, the CHIP, the Medicare, Medicaid, Medi-Cal in California, TRICARE. Single payer is something that they have in the United Kingdom, Republic of Ireland, and others, where a portion of your taxes goes to the Irish Health Service Executive, and they provide care. It's a single payer. Some countries, like for instance, the United Kingdom has the National Health Service, which is similar. They may exist in parallel with other plans that allow people to have care quicker or a certain type of care faster. Right. And socialized medicine, kind of similar to what we see with single payer. Socialized medicine is in fact a type of single payer health service. Biggest difference is that the government owns and operates all the facilities. And then finally, United Health Insurance, basically a social insurance model. And we'll get more into these in the rest of the course. And again, this kind of solar system like diagram that we show here is showing the major developments in health insurance and managed care. And if you look closely, I'm sure you'll recognize some of this. HEDIS, Blue Shield, Blue Cross, Medicare, Medicaid, and Champus, and all these others. And we'll get into the finer details on these later in the course. That's all I have for you right now. In our next video lecture, we'll get into the finer details of healthcare insurance, managed care, and other topics. We'll see you then.